Hello, my dear students. I am Lakshmi Shapiyar, Assistant Professor of English, Government First Aid College, Irisave, Chandrayapatna Taluk, Hassan District. In this session, we shall discuss what happens in William Shakespeare's The Tempest, especially in Act 4, Scene 1. Before going to Act 4, Scene 1, let us recapitulate what we have discussed in the last class. That means what we have discussed in Act 3. In Act 3, you know what happens? Prospero arrives and watches actions within a moment. A number of ghostly shapes arrive, and with them a lavish banquet. In the beginning of the Act 3, we can see how spirits were playing tricks with Alonso and his companions. They brought a lavish banquet. Ariel appears disguised as a RP. He makes the banquet disappear and accuses Antonio, Sebastian, and Alonso of being the instruments of sin. That means here Ariel was also playing tricks with king and other counselors. Ariel was disguising as an orphan, and he called Antonio and Sebastian as traitors. Although the men draw their swords, they are frozen in place by magic and unable to lift up their arms. That means when King and his companions drew their sword to kill their enemy, that means Ariel, they tried to kill Ariel, but Ariel made them to be stand still and powerless. The king who is Alonso, he is shaken by what he has seen and heard, and he flees, as do Antonio and Sebastian. The king and others were shocked to see what was happening to them, and they fled. This is what we have discussed in the last class in Act 3. Now let us discuss the continuation. That means what will happen in Act 4, Scene 1. In Act 4, Scene 1, Prospero, acknowledging that he has been arch on Ferdinand, now promises a reward that will rectify the young lovers' momentary suffering. As you already know, Prospero has been very harsh with Ferdinand, and now he agrees his mistakes and why he has given trials to Ferdinand. He explained everything in detail. Miranda and Ferdinand have passed the trials that Prospero has set before them. Both Ferdinand and Miranda, they have passed the trials. The trials were set by Prospero. Both Ferdinand and Miranda, they passed the trials. Recognizing Ferdinand and Miranda's love for one another, Prospero offers Miranda to Ferdinand as his wife. Then, I quote, then as my gift and thine own acquisition, worthily purchased, take my daughter, I unquote. He says, Prospero says, warning Ferdinand that he should look after his wife with love and respect. Ferdinand promises to do so. Now Prospero agrees to give Miranda to Ferdinand as Ferdinand's wife, and at last he wants that Ferdinand should look after his wife very carefully, and he should respect Miranda till the end. This conversation reveals the genuine concerns of a father for his daughter and dignified love of the young prince. It shows the common concern of every father towards his daughter and the responsibility of every husband towards his wife. Prospero next calls Ariel to help stage a celebration of the betrothal. Prospero gets the help of Ariel to arrange the stage for marriage celebration which is going to happen. The celebration includes a masque which is very important presented by the spirits of the island. In Elizabethan age, the masque was a pompous dance party hosted by the royals, dwindling the tax money paid by the subjects. Later, the subjects protested against it. This mosque celebration is called as mosque, which is presented by different spirits such as Juno, who is the king of the gods, Iris, who is Juno's messenger, and the goddess of the rainbow, and Ceres, who is goddess of agriculture. These trio means Juno, Iris, and Ceres perform a masque celebrating the lovers' engagement. Shakespeare adopts this in his play to entertain the spectators as a diversion from serious issues. Why Shakespeare has adopted this mask? Because Shakespeare adopts this mask technique to entertain the spectators. Just because to entertain the spectators, and they have to be far away from serious issues. Spectators should be deviated from serious issues. Here, let us see the significance of the three goddesses. This mosque draws on mythical goddesses and on Greek and Roman mythology. Juno, queen of the gods, Iris, goddesses of rainbow, and Ceres, goddess of the earth. As I have already mentioned, these spirits represent something very important. The goddesses are selected for their symbolism and connections to nature and represent the promise of fertility, fecundity, and heavenly harmony. All the spirits, all these spirits are connected with nature, especially with nature, and they represent the promise such as fertility and harmony. In Elizabethan age, it was a common practice to pray gods to bless and prosper the young couples. It was a common practice to invoke gods to bless the young couples through this dance. The couple are also advised to stay faithful to each other. In Elizabethan age, people were praying gods to bless them, especially in the marriage ceremonies, in the auspicious ceremonies. People were praying gods. Here we have a picture which describes mosque scene from the play enacted by Royal Shakespeare Company. You have to look at the picture. It's a mosque scene. What I have been explaining, you can observe in this picture. Now let us go to next to PPT. That means in the second part of this scene, in the second part of Act 4, suddenly Prospero remembers the three conspirators who have set out to murder him and calls a halt to the mosque. While spirits are performing the mosque, Prospero remembers the conspiracy which has been set by Caliban, Trinculo, and Stefano. and Prospero orders his spirits to stop the mask. He then summons Ariel, who reports that he led the three men, all of whom were very drunk, through a briar patch and into a filthy pond, where he left them wallowing, drenched in pond. Immediately, when Prospero remembers the conspiracy, immediately Prospero calls Ariel. Ariel tells that Ariel tells Prospero that how Ariel has led Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo into a filthy pond. Filthy pond. Here trio are completely drunk. Trio, Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo are very drunk, completely drunk. Prospero instructs Ariel to leave garish clothing on a tree to tempt the men. Prospero orders Ariel to keep rich clothes in order to attract conspirators who are none other than Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo. Soon Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo appear, foul, smelling, and wet. The trio, Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo, come out of the pond. They were stinking smell is coming out of their body. Stefano and Trinculo lament the loss of their bottles but are much cheer when they see the clothing hanging nearby. Stefano and Trinculo curse Caliban for their current condition because they have lost their wine bottles, because both of them, Stefano and Trinculo, they love wine bottles. Now they have lost their bottles and they are blaming Caliban, but they are glad when they see rich clothes which were kept by Ariel. The two ignore Caliban's pleas to continue on their mission and his warnings that their hesitation will lead Prospero to catch them. Stefano and Trinculo try to steal clothes in spite of Caliban's warnings of Prospero's trick here. At last, Prospero and Ariel enter with spirits disguised as hunters and wounds. Eventually, Prospero and Ariel come to the place. Immediately, Prospero and Ariel, with his spirits, Prospero come to the place, masquerading as spirits along with hunting dogs to catch these idiots, Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo. The three conspirators flee with the spirits in pursuit. Now Prospero, Ariel, and other spirits chase the trio, Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo, who have fled from the place. Prospero, acknowledging the power he now holds over all his enemies, promises Ariel that he shall soon be free. Eventually, Prospero says that his enemies are in Prospero's control now, and he promises Ariel that Ariel will get the freedom after Prospero's mission is over. In this way, William Shakespeare completes Act 4, Scene 1 of the play The Tempest. Thank you, one and all.